Hey everyone, it's Chuck, and I want to talk about something that happened to me the other day when I was working on this space station pinball machine. I noticed that when I had my hand on the side rail, I was getting a slight tingling electrical shock. So basically what happens is if I put my hand on any of the metal here, and I also put my hand on one of these other pinball machines, this one or this one on this side, and I connect that circuit between them with my hand, I feel some voltage. Let's see what's going on with that. I'm going to pull my multi-tester over, and I'm pretty sure it's AC voltage. It feels like AC voltage. So what I'm going to do is, at first I couldn't tell where the voltage was coming from. Is it this machine? Is it one of these other machines? So what I did is I put the ground on Space Shuttle here, and then I take the other lead and I'm going to touch it to the metal on this machine and watch the multi-tester. Oh, there's almost 32 volts there AC. It's kind of interesting. Alright, and I take it off and it goes away. Now, if I leave my ground reference on Space Shuttle and I'm going to go past Space Station over to Blackout, I'm going to touch that one. I'm going to touch it right there, and then we'll see. Okay, there's no voltage differential there. And then I'm going to take my ground and throw it over here, or sorry, it's not really a ground when I'm testing AC. But I'm going to put it on this metal on firepower, and now I'm going to go back to the space station, which is my suspect machine. I'm going to touch it. And I'm also getting the 32 volts here. So what that tells me is that somewhere 32 volts AC is leaking onto the ground. So the whole ground plane of this is energized at 32 volts for some reason, at least down here on the lower box. So I have to figure out what's going on, because in my mind, if 32 volts is shorted to ground, then a fuse should be blowing. I was thinking maybe my ground is disconnected from the ground at the outlet, and then it's energized now, and that way it's not shorting. So the first thing I'm going to do is check my ground on my plug, make sure that I have a ground pin on the plug so that all of this metal here is definitely referenced to ground. Alright, so I pulled the plug out for this machine, and for Space Station, the game I'm having the ground problem with, and there is a ground prong unplugged, so that works. But what I need to do is see if that ground plug there is connected to the machine's metal ground plane. And what I wanted to show you is I pulled the plug out for the Blackout machine next door here, and I clipped a lead onto the ground plug and then onto my probe. And I put myself on continuity check right there. And if I touch this other probe here over to the ground plane on Blackout, I should get a beep and a continuity checkout here. And there it is. So zero voltage drop over that. Okay, I got everything hooked back up here. I've got the jumper wire clipped onto the ground pin of my space station machine. And you can see it connects to the other probe here. Got myself on continuity check. Just to show you that it's working, I'll touch the probe here and I should get a beep. And I'm getting 0, which is perfect. Now if I touch this probe to the ground plane here, I should get that same beep. And I get nothing. I got nothing there, nothing here, nothing here, whole lot of nothing, nothing on the leg. So what that tells me is that this pin is no longer connected to the ground plane of this machine at all, which is not a safe condition to be in. So what I'm going to do next is try to figure out where this is broken. It could be broken right here in the plug. I maybe need to replace this plug. It could be broken inside the machine. So I'm going to use my continuity tester to start narrowing down where that break is. Alright, here's where the AC power comes into the game. and it goes into this box here, which has a utility outlet and a fuse. And when I touch this metal here, anywhere on this ground braid or the metal of this box or the ground pin on this plug here, I should be getting continuity. It should show me that there's a continuous circuit there, and you can see pretty quickly that there's not. What I discovered when I was clipping the jumper wire on was actually that this plug, I could probably just push it out with my hand. There it is. So this pin is broken off, and that's probably what the problem is. So I'm going to put a new plug on the end of here, and we will plug it in and see what happens. And this is just a standard replacement plug you can buy at Home Depot or wherever. And you just cut off the cord and strip the ends, put it in there. And so let's go ahead and plug it in where our ground pin is fully connected now. We'll see if that fixed our shocking problem on Space Station. So here we are again at the front of Space Station, and we have Space Shuttle here. We know Space Shuttle has a good ground because we tested it. And so remember, we were measuring the AC voltage between the ground plane of this machine and the ground plane of this machine. And before we were getting about 24 volts AC, which I was feeling that shock. If I had bare feet on the ground, I would feel it, or I would feel it if I touched both machines. Just a little AC voltage there. So let's go ahead and touch. So we're on the ground of this one. We'll go ahead and put the other probe on this one and see what we get. And there we're getting 0.12 of a volt, which is I think pretty normal, considering that's just indicating a very slight difference in potential between these two. Nothing I think we need to worry about. Certainly not the 24 volts we were feeling before. So I think we would consider this fixed. And I think the bottom line is that ground pin on your pinball machine is there for a reason. It keeps you safe. It keeps this chassis of the machine connected to ground potential. So if a hot wire inside the machine was to come in contact with that chassis, it would then short to ground, blowing a fuse or your circuit breaker in your house and protecting you from a shock. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.